When you talk about just compatibility, people grow every day, and even just being in relationships, you're growing as individuals. So who you are today is not who you are, who you was yesterday. And then even just personal goals and just growth. I don't think a lot of time is intentional for somebody to be looking for someone that's better. But sometimes it's just through life and different connections and just even like with networking and different stuff. You see with your eyes, you feel what you feel, and it's it's just a different path of life. For me, like I'm a very goal planner. I like to align myself, but am I with somebody that also has that purpose? Like, what do they aspire? How am I even pushing them? And I think a lot of times, even when people are in transition, they even want somebody that's already established. They want to hook. They want to connect to that versus somebody that's in that building stage. So if you were to connect with somebody that's in that building stage, you have this like foundation of everything. Years later, we're getting older. I'm getting older. You, as my man, would you still look at me as somebody that's as beautiful as from the first day you saw me? Probably not. There's going to be noticeable changes. But just having that in depth, just whatever that we have already said with that triumph anything as we continue on with this journey of life. Now, I can't say that there's a guarantee, but if I'm just somebody that's like, you know what, I'm young, I just want somebody that's has what I want. But yet, it's going to be easier for them to look into just have a lot of available options. So even with, I know we've discussed about this on another podcast before, which is you see the NFL draft, people are looking at all these, men with these white women and stuff, but these are men that are in transition. Is either you can hook to somebody while they're in the progress of going up and being that chosen one per se, but even just, I don't know, I have friends, they want to be a wife. That's the only thing they talk about. They want to be a wife. But what are the qualities that you carry to even? And I tell my person, like, look, if I'm not pushing you to grow, if I'm not contributing to your life in a way, and I'm not speaking about materialistic, you have no right to me and I have no right to you because I don't want to be remaining the same. I don't want to be, but I also understand that change happens. Your mindset, you are influenced about a lot of different things. So, but no, that's just my take with it. But it's a lot of different things. So with me, I just want to more so connect on a very just spiritual growth path of life versus like, I want somebody that's you hear about these high value men, it's but what are the characteristics? What are the qualities that if a woman is saying she want a high value man, what is the definition for you to even to qualify to have one, and vice versa with a man? If you want a woman of a certain value, and you're speaking about good women and just what carries today. Um, their men, they'll be like, man, I'm surprised. Like you are single, you have X, Y, and Z qualities. But if I'm not chosen for you, if I'm not something that somebody wants, I don't have that expectation to be or that letdown to be like, damn. So it's just that for me, it's just something that you have to know what's within you. But then once you're locked in with that person, change is gonna happen. And then even back to the beginning of one of the first topics, she's talking about all of this stuff. I mean, we don't know, his side of the story, her side really in depth. But if you are not in tune with your person, if you're not pouring, if it's not an energy, and it's never gonna be, the same every single day. But I'll go ahead and digress.
Y'all lose your hairline, that's for sure.
Go ahead, Ali.
Um, I this is the part I think like where I think it's easier for men to see who truly loved them when they were younger, and it's easier for women to see who really loved them when they were older as well too. When I was talking about the superpowers, because it our society's based our attraction to each other and our commitment to each other verse on a lot of superficial and surface level things. So I think a lot of people just don't know what love is, and the fact that we're looking for someone better instead of looking for someone that's a forever or someone that's permanent, based on I guess some of the stuff things D was talking about. D was saying some informative things, but
Pause.
I think the quality of the person is what a lot of people are missing. So if we're aspiring to be with people versus basing them off superficial or materialistic things and what they bring to the table and what their value is on a surface level, most relationships are never going to work. And I think that's why a lot of relationships fail now today. People aren't truly loving each other for each other's survival and for the quality of who the person is, because I can't see the fact that relationships can die. It means somebody isn't loyal, and it takes two people too. If one person's bringing their best to the table and the other person don't even know what that is, it's inevitable for that relationship to fail. So if two people truly love each other, I can't even see how someone would say you have to endure or this or you have to struggle and it's going to be hard when people truly love each other. And I can compare it to my parents. There'd be times where we disagree, or even my son. There may be times I may be upset with something, but my love will continue to grow. It will continuously grow. I never find it hard to love them. So I think a lot of people, when they connect to today, they don't know what even love is. So I think it's going to be very difficult for someone to find someone better in today's day and time. But if you're trying to look for something better, I would hope it's a better quality person versus what they have.
Ali, you think that some relationships are, I get it. I don't think all relationships are supposed to succeed. I get it. Marriage, you're supposed to stay in marriage and stuff, but I think some relationships are supposed to just run its course. So, like, for example, if you know that the woman you in a relationship with, she got with you, she's cohabitating with you because of the lifestyle you can provide. But in 2027 that you're not going to be able to work anymore. Isn't it safe to say that your relationship is going to expire in 2027? And it rightfully should.
Yeah, but I don't look at relationships like that. I don't think they're
I
supposed to.
get it. I
I don't
get it.
think I don't think they're supposed to fail.
I get it. You don't look at it like that. But if that's what the relationship was built on, then it's safe to say that the relationship has an expiration date. Like for me personally, I'm a married man. I love my wife and I didn't marry her for like any transaction or thing. But I can understand that some relationships are built on transactions, so to speak. So if you be with a woman and you're providing a lifestyle and you can no longer provide that lifestyle, you should expect that relationship to expire.
Yeah, you be making what I'm saying. Yeah, that's my
So,
point.
so I wouldn't say that relationship, I wouldn't say it was a failed relationship. I would say it was a successful relationship. It's just had a beginning and an end.
No, it's still a failed relationship. The what you had with your mother and father is supposed to be longevity. When you meet another person, they're supposed to replace what you had with your mother and father, and that's supposed to be longevity as well too. The culture and society we live in now lets everyone find a reason to leave instead of find a reason to stay. You can
Exactly.
find the same thing you have with one person with the next person. All people are doing is going to the next person, reliving the same thing over and over again to find a reason to leave instead of find a reason to stay. And it's just the base. It's the basis of what our society and culture has been built off of. But in the East, and even my friends that I have Arab friends, Indian friends who bring their wives, get their wives from their countries, and they stay married. The divorce rate is very low versus our divorce rate here because of why we marrying. People are still looking up. People look for superficial reasons. People become so-called high value, and they're looking for the wrong things in each other for what they didn't have when they were younger. And the relationship, like you said, is going to expire. It's not built on nothing solid. It's not built on nothing with purpose. It's not
So
built on
I
love.
agree with you. I agree with you that we should marry each other because we love each other. But I understand that a lot of people not doing that. You know what I'm saying? They're
Yeah,
marrying because a lot of people are getting in relationships for economic reasons. And I don't see nothing wrong with it because a lot of people are economically challenged. So when they do choose their partner, they choose it based off of economics.
but I
And
but I but I
I
do.
wouldn't be mad if, or let's say a man gets in a relationship. I'm not going to even go as far as marriage because that might be a little bit more sensitive. I would say if a man and a woman got into in a relationship because he's able to provide because she looks at him as a provider, but at some point he's no longer able to provide for her. What do you expect her to do?
What Well, to Ruth's point she made earlier, all of us are gonna get old and dusty, right? And we may not, we ain't gonna be able to use certain things a certain type of way, right? So you would want the person that's next to you, someone you genuinely love. And one thing I don't know if y'all thinking about a lot, which I think y'all might think about a lot, but don't dwell on too much, is we gonna die. And the fact that people are wasting all their time still trying to get the next dollar, still trying to be a thousandaire, a millionaire, or get the biggest car, the nicest car, instead of connecting with the best person they can in their life and spend the rest of their life with them, is wild to me, because we gonna die. You know what I'm saying? We go, and you don't know. And the scary part of it is you don't know how you gonna die. But the money ain't coming, the car ain't coming, the house ain't coming. The best thing you can do with this one life you have, that we think or know is this one life, is the person next to you is someone you really love and can spend the rest of your life with. That's the best thing you can do. All the other stuff won't matter, man. And that's why a lot of people are miserable. What's wild is when I was working in my field, or things I've been going through, or things I went through the last year, I've never seen such little people visit someone in the hospital. When I went to the hospital with the situation that I had with my mother, when I was going past the hospital rooms, there was nobody with these people. I've never seen nothing like that in my life. When I was younger, when I would go to like the hospital, I would see people in the rooms with their family. Well, this generation gonna be the first generation that doesn't want to have kids, will have probably maybe no kids, a few kids they're not even connected to, that someone's not even gonna be there to bury you. You know what I'm saying? I got to see my uncle had family to watch them get buried, my aunts get buried, grandparents. This is gonna be the first generation moving forward where people gonna start being buried alone and go to the grave alone. And it's a sad thing, you know.